Aloha everybody and welcome back to part 3 of Mystical Ninja starring Goemon. And we just entered the transformed Oedo Castle, and the first room is very, very advantageous to us. Why? Because it has a whole bunch of pots with money inside. And the thing is, with this game, every time you leave a room and then go right back in, all of the items respawn. So the pots with the money will respawn, and I can recollect another 120 Rio, another $120 every single time I enter that room. And because it's the first room of the dungeon, and you can revisit dungeons after you clear them, this game does have mandatory moments where you need to buy certain things in order to progress with the story. Like, I absolutely need money in order to further the plot, unless speedrunners have found a way to completely bypass it, which wouldn't surprise me at all. I'm sure they found a way to completely ignore that, but maybe not. And, you know, you need money at some point. You definitely need money. If you're just throwing your money willy-nilly as a ranged weapon and you're very cheap and poor, you're not going to be finishing this game, and at one point you're going to get a roadblock, and then it's going to be like, ugh, I need money badly. Luckily, with the beginning of Oedo Castle, then we can just refill our wallets to our heart's content, and it's very good, very good. And being one of the first dungeons in the game, you can't ask for anything better than that. I just picked up a silver key, so this is the first dungeon of the game, and like I said, Mystical Ninja is basically a crossover between Zelda and a platformer. So there's a lot of locked doors, and you need silver keys to open those locked doors. And now we're coming up to an item known as Mr. Elephant. Mr. Elephant! Mr. Elephant gives us the map. It allows us to actually see where we are in relation to the rest of the rooms in the dungeon. And we can go up the floors to the second floor to the third floor, and if you've played a Zelda game, this all looks pretty familiar, because again, in Zelda dungeons, typically you would find two items in those dungeons, a map and a compass. The compass showing you where the boss is, and how far you need to go until you reach the boss. And Mystical Ninja is no different. There is another object that we will find later that shows us where the boss is. I didn't say Mystical Ninja was original, okay? I didn't say it was original. I'm just saying that it's a fun crossover between Zelda and a platformer, you know. I don't do this in Zelda, you know? I don't constantly jump and attack a whole bunch of weird mechanical dolly enemies, you know? And here's another fortune cat. We picked up 3 earlier, which means that our health has increased by 1. We went from 5 hearts to 6 hearts. And, yeah. When you go in the water, you can't swim underwater. You can't actually go underneath it, so you don't have to worry about drowning or anything. Jesus, camera! I'll talk about why the camera sucks sometimes later, but you can't swim underwater until we get a certain ability for that, which reminds me, in regards to the fortune cats of these dungeons, sometimes you'll see that I actually miss a fortune cat here and there. I don't always collect every single one in a dungeon. And that's because this game does have a lot of backtracking. Sometimes you have to get a new ability, a new skill, a new character before you can get the fortune cat that is in that dungeon. At the end of the game, just before I head to the final area of the game, I'm going to be doing a lot of catch-up. I'm going to be doing I'm just going to be doing cleanup, I suppose. That I'm going to be going back to previous dungeons and using my newfound abilities to get all of the items that I missed. So I will be going for every single fortune cat, but keep in mind, I don't have all my abilities at the start, so if I miss one in this dungeon, I'll be coming back anyway, and I'll get it then, you know? I got a list, I got a reminder of all the fortune cats in the game, and I'm definitely going to be going back for all of them, but yeah. Oh, I hate those assholes. I hate those light blue mechanical dollies, because they always jump as soon as you get close to them. So instead, what I like to do, when the light blue dollies come at you, they always jump, so you want to jump as you're coming up to them and swing while you're jumping. If you jump and swing your pipe, they will jump into it and you can destroy them like it's nobody's business. It's very Mega Man, where like as soon as you know what the trick is, as soon as you know what is effective, you can just keep doing that like it's breathing, you know? Like all I'm doing, it's just so natural for me to do it. Anyway, in the middle of this room is a brown statue structure. And this might be connected to the boss. I don't know. This might be connected to the boss. So we'll have to see what's up with that later. But the camera issues in Mystical Ninja starring Goemon. So I already said the camera's not great. I don't think it's super great that you have to hold R and manipulate the C buttons in order to move it around. That's not a deal breaker for me, but it does get caught on walls and stuff very easily. And you'll find sometimes when you're pushing C left or C right in order to move the camera left or right, sometimes it just freaks out and it spins around you completely. Like it does a whole friggin' 360 spin around the entire character kind of thing, where it's like, you get so discombobulated when that happens. And I just can't fix that, you know? I can't actually change the camera to be better. That's just the way the game is. This doesn't have any patches. This is the Nintendo 64. We didn't do updates. We didn't do patches. The game that you bought was the game that you got. You know what I mean? Oh, and speaking of N64, I love these sprites. I love these dumpling enemies that you have to jump over. I don't know. It's just such an N64 aesthetic, you know? You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Chameleon Twist for the N64. It's this game where you play as this chameleon and you have this big long tongue that you use to like swing off poles and stuff. And I don't know, those dumplings reminded me of the kind of enemies you would see in Chameleon Twist. I love Chameleon Twist. Chameleon Twist is a game I would consider doing a Let's Play of, just because I love that game oh so much. And, you know, it's just, some N64 games just had a unique style that they never recreated. Like, did anyone play Mischief Makers? Did you ever see all those weird, like, cube, blocky enemies in Mischief Makers? Ah, that was a very peculiar game, very interesting game. Quite the time period games were in during the Nintendo 64 times. I speak English good. Either way, I remember when I was a kid, I remember these dungeons being so much longer and bigger. And there is one dungeon that is pretty big. I won't deny that the third dungeon, the Festival Temple, is certainly very gigantic. But I remember this one taking me like 30 minutes to go through. And then when I record it, nope, it's like a 10-minute dungeon when you know what you're doing. And I'm just like, huh. I remember this taking so much longer as a kid. I guess I was just having so much fun that I thought time was flying. I don't know. Then again, I am better at it as an adult. I have practiced this dungeon quite a bit. Talk to the hand, Goemon. Talk to the hand. This is another instance where that hand is blocking a fortune cat, and until I beat the boss of this dungeon, that hand will always be there, and I cannot get the fortune cat. So, yeah. And I'm not just going to immediately go for the fortune cat after I beat the boss. I'm just going to move on with the story, because again, I'll do cleanup later. I'll do cleanup later, don't you worry. There are a lot of rooms in here where sometimes you need to destroy all the enemies in order to make the keys spawn. And I just want to destroy all the enemies anyway, even if I don't necessarily need to destroy them, even if I should just run by them most of the time. Like I said, I want money. It helps me buy mandatory plot progressing items, so I'm just going to be fighting everything I come across anyway, because I'm a greedy bastard and I want money. Lord Raiden! Sorry, Mr. Arrow. This is the item that shows you where the boss is on the map. So let's take a look. Oh, the boss is on the 3rd floor. Ooh. I'm pretty sure they use the skull symbol for Zelda as well. Don't they use the skull symbol in Zelda? I don't know. What else are you gonna use to represent a boss? Like, Jesus, dumplings! Ah! Ninjas! These ninjas can't handle me. I'm the mystical ninja, goddammit. I'm not afraid of no ninjas! Luckily, because I bought a sombrero in the shops earlier, if I take damage from it, it doesn't drain my health. It just attacks my sombrero armor. Booyah. So I don't know why I picked up those dumplings. I guess I forgot that I had the sombrero on. I only have one more hit with the sombrero, but yeah. Again, it's always important to buy items, but then again, this game is so easy that you don't need to buy items, so if you want to save money, I wouldn't recommend buying metal armor, buying the sombrero, nothing. You don't need it. I don't even need the rice ball. I'm going to be holding on to this rice ball till the end of the game. I will never ever eat it. It will be on my person for the whole entire game because I'm never going to lose all my health. I'm never going to have my entire health bar be drained. So, you know, I just thought it made the item inventory space a little more occupied. It made it a little more complete. So I bought it, but I don't need it. I absolutely do not need it. But here we are, folks. This is the final room before we go to the boss. So let's go see who's in charge, huh?
So, I was sure I heard something down there. Was it you guys?
What the? Well, who in the world are you?
My name is Baron. I've come to make Oedo Castle a beautiful stage.
Stage? What do we need a stage for?
Goemon, this smells like danger to me. Why don't we just grab this weirdo by the throat and beat him up a bit?
Who are you calling weirdo?
Maybe I'll just have to beat you up! I didn't add that laugh track. That happens in this game. Whenever they make jokes and stuff in the cutscenes, they add a laugh track. They add, like, boos and stuff when you do something disagreeable. Apparently Mystical Ninja starring Goemon has a live studio audience, so how about that? And here we come to our first boss of the game. This is the King Robot Congo, but being the first boss of the game, it is very easy, very easy. So it builds up breath so that it can shoot a flamethrower at you, right? You can actually run behind him. There is just enough space to get behind his head and go completely around him. And the thing is, if you hit this guy enough, eventually he pops out these electric lasers that you have to jump over. They will damage you, but they only damage like half a heart, so you can take more than like 10 hits right now. And if you hit the weakness, the chin, the button chin, enough, so quickly, that when he's building up energy to use his flamethrower, I can just interrupt that and immediately go to the next laser section. The laser never changes direction, it always spins to the right, never spins to the left, and all I have to do is jump over that, no problem. And then when it stops, I hit the button some more, hit the button some more, hit the button some more, and he builds up that flamethrower, but he never gets to use it. Too bad, Congo. The rest of the bosses are a little bit more challenging than this, but being the first boss of the game, he's pretty easy peasy if I do say so myself. I don't need to use the chain pipe, I don't need to use my money, I don't need... Hell, I could go in here with 1 heart and I probably wouldn't be in that much danger. Although it doesn't follow the sets of 3 rule. You have to hit this thing more than 3 times, make the laser trigger more than 3 times. So, you know, it's a little long in the tooth, but nothing I can't handle. Again, very easy first boss. It's the beginning of the game after all, but there's nothing to it. You just keep hitting his chin, keep hitting his butt chin. The music is so damn good. Oh my god. Mystical Ninja starring Goemon has probably one of the best soundtracks on the whole Nintendo 64. This is one of the best soundtracks for any game on this console. I mean it. It is just... mwah. I tried looking up the composer's work, and there's only like one composer that I could like track down as still doing stuff. And that was like, one of the works he did was like Mega Man 11, apparently, which is interesting. But the rest of the composers, I have no idea what they've been up to. Maybe they just stopped doing music for games after this one. Maybe they were using pseudonyms and aliases. I don't know, but it's a shame. It's a shame. Either way, we've saved the Lord of Japan. We've saved Princess Yuki. We're safe now, thanks to you.
Lord, what has become of Oedo Castle?
Suddenly there was this bright light, and next thing I know, well, look around you. We saw it from the outside. The whole castle transformed when that peach beam hit.
I remember that strange man was yelling something like, "Instant stage beam!"
Instant what? That's a strange name.
By the way, where did that weirdo go?
He rushed off in an awful hurry.
I've got a favor to ask of you. Could you catch the guys that did this to Oedo Castle for me? I beg you.
Give me a break.
I've never heard anything so sad in my life. Of all people, Goemon, the hero. I beg you once again, please.
I really don't want to.
I've never heard, and he just repeats this over and over again. This is a but thou must situation.
I don't have any choice. Oh well, alright. We can't let anyone do something like this and get away with it.
Good, I knew I could count on you. Oh, I almost forgot. Take this with you. As long as you've got this, you will be able to open the gate.
Yeah, the super pass. So now we can leave the other exit of Oedo Town and go on to a new area. Booyah! But yeah, folks, that was the first dungeon of the game. We do have a few more after this. This adventure's only just begun. Oh, and you definitely don't want to miss part 4. The next part of this playthrough has something really awesome in it. Stay tuned, you won't regret it. Till then.